Welcome everybody to Rick Helps Real Estate Show. We have the dynamic duo back on again, Ruby and Jackie. How are you both?
We're good. How about you?
Good. It's been a while since we've been able to connect on here. It seems like it's been too long. Everybody's got a
I've
busy
missed this.
schedule. Hey, what about 8:30? No, that won't work. What about Tuesday? I'm out of town Tuesday. It's like it's hard to do. But we're going to try and do this once a week, just to kind of get. You're my boots on the ground and referral partner, especially in the North and the Northwest Valley. And so, it's a good opportunity for me to catch up. And I wanted to talk about, because we're all getting the same emails from the builders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's like year-end closeout because their books end at the end of November. And I think, is it Pulte that's the one that seems to be the most aggressive right now?
Oh, yeah. And I've got some clients that I showed a Pulte to that it's a Park Lane. And it's the house we live in. And I'm surprised because it's probably the most high demand floor plan out of Pulte. And where I'm at, Alora Vita, they're on their closeout. And they decided they were going to spec all the remaining 12 houses, 12 lots they have left. So they're specing them all. And every week I'm getting emails with more drops. So I've seen homes that are like the 870 mark now down to 814, and then incentives. And then they're sending emails, check the incentives on top of it. And then if you're a cash buyer, I think it's 6% that they'll take off on top of that. So their Pulte's getting really aggressive. I'm getting emails like 2-3 times a week right now.
Yeah, me too. And I'm getting in Lennar.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. A lot from Lennar. Yeah.
They're
DR Horton too.
3.99. Yeah, DR Horton. So they're it's interesting. I pulled up permits here, and I'm looking at single family permits, and the permits are down year to date to 17,000. Last year they're 20,000. So they are paring down, coming down. So they know that, they don't want to get ahead of their skis here. And but they tend to do this when they're closing out a development. The last 10 homes are usually always cheaper than the first 30 homes, right?
Oh, they're not cheaper, these ones.
Yeah.
They started in the 5s and they're in the 8s here.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it's gone up. It's been a 2-year process.
Yeah.
So, but in those 2 years, they've gone from the 5s to the 8s.
Well, so when you're out there, so you're looking now in this market, we're down 15% from the 2022 high in prices between 300 and 600,000. Everything above that is only down like single digit.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at a new build and you look at those incentives, so like, for example, what are they spitting out for you?
Depends on the builder. I'm seeing 20,000 a lot.
Okay. Plus a buy down, right?
Plus a buy down.
So, and then the fixed interest rate. So a lot of those are at 3.99.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're looking at like, I'll just say $40,000 in incentives. Now the problem comes in, let's say for some reason you had to sell. Well, you're not going to be able to offer that. Mm-hmm. 20,000 and then a big rate buy down, unless your loan is now assumable, which I kind of, I doubt it. But so right away, your house is worth $40K less. Plus you've got other fees on top of that. So if you're going to get into a new build, you better stay. It's the house has a list price, but you mentally have to subtract all that other stuff and go, well, here's what the base price of the house actually is now, or the final price. And so I think people kind of look that over. Now, I'm reading a lot about taxes as well, that, that somehow I think the agents in the new developments are getting better at explaining this, but your taxes are based on the land.
Vacant land.
First year. Mm-hmm. First year or first 2 years.
Sometimes it depends on how soon the county assessor gets it reevaluated, or the area around it's also developing.
Right.
And that is something that I point out constantly.
Yeah. So you want to just go ahead and assume the new tax amount and build that into your escrow account. Even though your tax is probably $800 for the year for the land, you should go ahead and assume it's going to be, $4,000 for the year. And the smart lenders in these developers are finally doing a better job of explaining that, because people just get hit with it.
Mhm.
Oh, your taxes are now $3,400. What? And taxes and insurance is what's making a lot of things implode right now.
Oh, it's crazy.
And I
My
think the
taxes
insurance,
doubled for the year. Or I should say my insurance went up. It doubled.
do you recommend when buyers are looking at a house that before they even put an offer on the house that they check to see how much it would cost to insure it?
If they're tight on their numbers, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than going, okay, I put down my earnest money deposit. I got through the 10-day inspection. I've ordered the appraisal. I'm going to call State Farm now. And then you find us and you go, what? Now it's a little harder to walk away because you've got all this money sunk in. And we're seeing across the country a big spike in cancels. We're really not seeing that here.
No.
I've looked it up. It's not, it's kind of right where it's been. But that's usually what drives cancels. It's like, geez, I didn't know this insurance is going to cost this much. And our rates now, they're getting better. We're 6.22. This is a survey, by Mortgage News Daily. And they're what they call positive. When rates go down, they call that, positive. So we're kind of getting there. But it's interesting now in our little world with the government shutdown, there's no data. That where's the jobs numbers? Well, they're getting it from ADP, which is payroll. So they're seeing that, but there's no CPI numbers. There's no job numbers. I'm just kind of laughing because we've been bitching and complaining that the job numbers weren't accurate. And now that we're not getting any, we're complaining we're not getting any.
Right. And what good are they anyways?
Yeah, that's right. Who cares? So, but the market's still very fragmented. What is the hottest area you think in the Northwest Valley?
In the Northwest?
Yeah, let's say Peoria, Surprise.
I would say Peoria is doing really well.
And Whitman is really exploding.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I just drove down back from Vegas this last weekend. And I was looking at the growth out there and thinking, I literally told my husband, you see those for sale signs? We should buy some land out here because it's coming. And someday we could make a mint. Like, we should be buying some land out here.
God, years ago, I remember selling 10-acre parcels out there for $30,000.
Yeah, Monty and I joked about that. My husband and I joked about that years ago. We're like, who would buy out here? And this was out, where Cibola Vista is now and Happy Valley and Lake Pleasant Parkway. And we're like, who would buy all the way out here? There's nothing. We were going hunting out there. Yeah. And
there's a lot of new builds going on out there, though. If you want to get a deal, you can get a pretty good deal out there. So they've got some strong incentives and there's a lot of new builds.
How long is the commute from Whitman to the new chip plant? About half an hour?
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yep.
Not bad.
There's the 303 right there. That's not bad at all. It just right on the 303 and you're there.
It just depends on how far west in Whitman, because some of those are getting out, like 196th Avenue. And so then you've got to drive all the way to the 60 and the 60 down to the 303. That could take you 20 minutes right there.
Yeah, that's true. Depends on the time of day. And
I did have a buyer asking me about future appreciation in New River. And it's hard to project,
In New River?
Like 5 years. I don't know. The outlying areas are always the first to go down, the last to go up. But New River it's out there. It's kind of sparse, but they got beautiful custom built homes with incredible views.
One of the biggest things it's a lot of horse property out there. Yeah. And so I don't tend to see horse properties go down very often. But one of the issues with New River is the water issue. And so there's very specific areas, like if you get around Circle Mountain and 7th, that there are a lot of wells that have gone dry and they do hold water. So that's the only thing with New River. You've got to be very careful. I mean, there's some areas where the aquifer is amazing. And then there's some areas like 2 blocks away where the wells have gone dry.
Yeah. Yeah, we're seeing that up in Payson, Pine, and Strawberry. They just haven't had the snowpack up there and their wells are going dry. There's not a whole lot of building going on up there. It's just, there's nothing in the ground.
Yeah.
I blame it on Anthem, but I've been told many times I'm wrong because when Anthem started getting developed was around the same time. It was a couple years later that I started having clients call me and say, we're having an issue. We're having to take our well down deeper. And I've said it, and I was told that I was wrong, but it correlated very well. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting. I spent a couple months up in Washington State out at my cousin's place, real close to the rainforest, where they typically get in this town, Forks, Washington, 10 feet of rain a year. The
Wow.
rainforest gets 16 feet. And they're having to drill deeper with their well. I said, how can you guys
Really?
possibly be out of water? And I'm looking at the Salt Duck River, and it's like only this deep, you know. I was like, oh, okay, that explains it. It only rained twice the whole time I was up there. So
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
now they're getting hammered this weekend. It's but you know, of course we had our big rainstorm a couple of weeks ago. I always kid everybody that we get 7 inches of rain a year, and last year we got it on a Tuesday. This year we got it on a Friday.
Well, we had both those storms, remember?
Yeah,
That were like a week apart or 2 weeks apart, something like that.
Tempe got destroyed.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were just right back to back. It literally came from like Thursday through Monday, both storms
yeah.
colliding. So yeah.
I was
Yeah,
showing property in Tempe. Well, so different parts of Tempe and North Scottsdale this weekend. I was blown away. I was driving through a condo unit or a townhouse unit complex, and there were probably about 15 huge trees that had been toppled over, and then some of the units were damaged, and they had them all taped off. The people had to move out of them.
yeah. I got a hold of my son. He didn't have any damage. He was working. He works at the Cox store at Tempe Town Marketplace, and he said it was unbelievable. And he gets home, he doesn't have any power, and they said they're not going to have power till 2 a.m. He got it about 8 o'clock. He's got the sweetest little old lady that lives next door to him, and
Oh,
calls him on the phone. She goes, "I don't see your car. Where are you?" He goes, "I'm parked across the lot. Where I normally park is all full of water." Well, we went to the store and we bought some lanterns, so I have a lantern for you. So she went over
oh,
to so,
how
but
sweet.
then the next day in the Cox store, cable company, people are coming in. My internet's down and I need it up right now.
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, have you noticed all the trees down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
we can't click a mouse and fix that. They're out there trying as fast as they can to get this
Yeah.
going." He said they were just mad.
Yeah.
They're coming in with their cable box. This quit working. He goes, "No, that works fine. We just don't have any internet now. It's they're going as fast. People are just so impatient."
They really are.
And there's people who lost their homes, like they have the right to be mad.
Yeah.
And these people are just out there internet.
Yeah. It's pretty bizarre. So, hey, I remind everybody while you're watching this, if I get 100 likes, I'm going to get a new T-shirt. So I did one yesterday, and I said that we only made it to 93. The dirty secret is I'll probably go get another T-shirt anyway. But get 100 likes, I'm going right out shopping. So that does it. And don't forget over here, click on this QR code. You get your own personalized zip code report or anything else you want. Just tell me what you're looking for, and I'll put the report together and send it out to you. So that's been fun.
Anything else?
Anything else, you let me know. It doesn't even have to be real estate related.
All right. I want to see what the most interesting request is that comes in.
Probably a chicken recipe or something like that. So, Rick, what's the best way to cook salmon? Okay, hold on. Hold my beer.
All right. Everybody listening, get creative. Send in your requests.
I actually pulled some salmon out of the freezer today for dinner tonight. My
Wow.
brother gave me a bunch while I was up there.
Oh, God.
That you guys caught? Is it what you guys caught? Did
He caught him.
fishing? Oh, he caught it.
Yeah, I didn't go fishing with them. I was up there. They went out a couple times. So
There's nothing like salmon from up there. My niece's husband was a fisherman in Alaska, and twice a year they used to send us big boxes to the airport on dry to ice of salmon that he caught. And oh my God, it was incredible.
yeah, it's good when it's fresh like that. So my brother's got a freezer full. I got a friend up there that he
Wow.
fishes all the time, and he's got a shop off of his house, and it's like a fish packing plant.
Oh
Really?
my God.
He's got a great big vacuum machine. he's back there showing me his whole routine. Well, I pull these out, I cut this, and then I put salmon in, and I suck the air out of it, and then I put it in here, and it vacuums it, and then I label it, and he had this whole process, and he just boom, boom, boom.
That's
But he's one of these
awesome.
guys, when he learns something, he learns it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
both feet. And so it was like I was in a fish market. So, and he opens up his freezer. I go, let's hope you don't lose your power. I mean, I got enough fish there to feed the entire town. So,
Oh my
Right.
gosh. Yeah. Hopefully he has a backup generator.
so going further west. So we were saying that you got Whitman and you got the Surprise and everything. What about along the I-10 corridor? Is there anything out there that, I mean, I look at some of the numbers from Litchfield and they're not too bad. But and then south of Interstate 10, that's way out there for me.
Yeah.
So it just kind of really depends. We were talking earlier before the show started. So like off the 202, that new 202, that the loop that goes down by Awatuki, there's a lot of new builds going on down there. We went on a listing appointment yesterday, and the owners, I had done the research before we went, and I felt really bad because they had bought it for $467 and 21, and it was a VA, and they built in the VA funding fee, so the loan amount was like $473, and their comps were like $417 to $420, and they were competing against new builds at that. And I felt really bad going in there, but they were fully aware, and they had worked really hard to pay down the mortgage to like 290, so they were prepared for it, which is good. But I'm seeing a lot of explosion down there where that 202 is. And then the further out west you get with Buckeye, it's
still growing.
Yeah, it's still going. But if you're a resale out there competing against the new builds, it's going to be really tough because they're trying to give those homes away out in Buckeye.
Well, and that's why the CPI is so low for Buckeye and Maricopa.
Mhm.
when I look at see if I can pull it up here.
But if you price properly, we had a listing that we listed. If it's priced appropriately and it shows really well, they are selling. Because the thing is, with the resale, you think you're getting such a good deal with the new build, but with the new builds, you got to go in, you got to do landscaping, you got to do window treatments. There's a lot of things that is a benefit with buying a resale. And so we had one resale that we did not too long ago. It probably comped around 415. We priced it at 409 and got multiple offers like within a week.
See, and that's an important thing right there is, you comped it. And so you can't go with the comp. I mean, you can look at that as a guide because comps
the active
are based
comps.
on, yeah. So it's that's what my neighbor got. Oh, and here's what's for sale down the street. Cause you priced below that. So there's wish pricing and there's list pricing. It's like, you got to give it the seller and go, okay, do you want to list this or do you want to sell this?
Right.
Well, you think about it, pricing it at 415, how many months of payments could that be? 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
Versus at 409. And so if you overprice in this market and you have to chase the market down, you're going to get a lot less than if you had priced it appropriately in the first place. Had we priced it at 415 versus 409, we might have been doing, price reductions for the next couple months. And once it gets past that 30, 45 days and it's aged, it doesn't matter. I mean, you have to get really aggressive with pricing then. So it's better to be aggressive right up front. You usually end up netting more.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a beautiful listing last week. It was $999,999. You know how much I love that. And I'm looking at this, I'm going, okay, so
we do sevens.
If you're searching for a home and you want home between 950,000 and 1 million, you'll see that listing. If you're searching for a home for 1 million to 1.2, you won't see that home because of $1.
Right.
So if you're going to be 999,999, just make it 1 million so that you can fall into those two search brackets.
Yeah.
It really depends, I think, on the price point, because the higher you get in price point, the bigger the spread is in the search. If you're on a lower end, you're usually searching within maybe 10 or 20,000 of each other. So if you're
Yeah.
searching like 380 to 400, well, then that 399 might have been really good. But when you get to the higher price points, you're usually searching, within 100,000 or 50,000, not that tight number. So I think it kind of depends on the price on if that works or not.
Well, I don't know. I usually, if my buyer, for example, is approved up to 350, I still will go up to like 370. Just kind of just depends on the area and the market, because we know that there's usually room for negotiating. So if we can find something a little bit higher that's been sitting for a while, we could probably get it down.
And sometimes people misinterpret that and think, oh, we're just trying to push you to a higher price point. They go, no, we're looking at a higher price point to try and pull them down to your price point.
And I explained that very well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, because there might be something out there that they're listing for 375 that just, you might get really lucky and get that for the 350 you want to spend.
Yeah.
And but otherwise, if we ignore it, then we read about it later. Wait, this sold for 350. How come I didn't know about that? Well, because they were asking 375. So you didn't want to look in that price back. So, let your agent search for you, dig things up, make phone calls, ask questions, find out their pricing tolerance and stuff, and work your magic instead of just cruising around Zillow all day and then complaining that you can't find anything, because there's stuff out there that's coming soon. I know Zillow has coming soon on there now. But there's also in the background in our industry a lot of moving and shaking as far as what listings are going to show up where. Compass versus Zillow and the courts, and I know you guys just been acquired by Compass. You're Century 21, but you're in that anywhere umbrella. So it's they call them exclusive listings. I've got an interview with people from Zudilio. And we talk about that at length, and I share what I think about it, and they do too. But it's going to change things, but the consumer doesn't know. They don't really know what's going on inside the MLS and in these national portals. So the search game is getting interesting, and Zillow has partnered with ChatGPT, and to where now you can go into ChatGPT and say, Zillow, show me 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes in Gilbert for under $450,000. And I'm thinking, well, can't you do that on Zillow anyway?
Right.
But the trick is with AI, it saves what you're looking for. So I can get that one search and they go, Rick, here's your homes. Is there anything else you want? Yeah. I'm looking for ones with storage units. Okay. And you can add and subtract from your original search by either talking in your phone or typing in and telling you what you want. I want one in a cul-de-sac, and it saves and it gets to know you. And but then Zillow gets this, ChatGPT is becoming on a trajectory as far as a search engine at quicker velocity than Google ever was.
Mm-hmm.
They're not searching more on ChatGPT than Google, but they're catching them.
My ChatGPT is getting on my nerves lately.
Yeah.
So I set it up that I'm doing my schedule in it, and the little bugger, now he'll send me an email saying, you haven't done your updates for tomorrow. Send me your updates, and I'll get like multiple messages of it. I'm like, God, I gave him a little too much control, I think.
Yeah, you got to. I read the funniest thing this morning. Let's see if I can pull this up. It was talking about, says AI models develop brain rot from ingesting too much viral social media content, study finds. In other words, artificial intelligence is programmed to go in and look at content and stuff, right? And absorb all the information. And what they found that AI models trained for junk content saw reasoning scores drop from 74.9% to 57.2%. Long context understanding and ethical norms also took a hit. In some cases, personality tests shows rises in narcissistic and psychopathic tendencies. The very data meant to boost AI performance was actually corrupting it. In other words,
that's funny.
Machines are going, oh man, this is stupid.
Wow.
The stuff that they're watching, and their brain just dumbed down.
Wow.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's a learning model.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at, dancing cats on TikTok is not advancing their learning.
Right.
Right.
They start absorbing this viral content. So, well, ladies, it's been fun. We'll check back next week and see what's going on in the market. I'm hoping the government shutdown ends this week and that we start seeing some data. And talking with Pat, he said he thinks that once the data comes out, the market's going to start bouncing around like crazy, the bond market.
Yeah.
You know, they go jobs report. Oh, it's better than we thought. Oh, it's worse than we thought. And there's going to be a move. And then CPI, it's just, he said, I think it's going to go from this flat line that we've seen to just utter chaos.
Yeah.
And so that'll make things fun, won't it?
No.
We'll see.
I'm the only one that likes disruption and chaos, I guess. But well, it's good talking with you, ladies, and I hope to see you again next week. Same time, same place.
All right, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, see
Bye,
you guys.
guys.